Meaning over power. When the universe learned why humans chose to forget. The Eternal Conclave chamber was not built for humans. Jack Hale knew that the moment he stepped through the translation veil and felt gravity disagree with him. Not heavier, not lighter, judgmental. The floor bent his stride just enough to remind him he didn't belong. The air vibrated with frequencies older than language. Colors existed here that had no human names and no interest in being understood. Jack adjusted his jacket anyway. Habit, human habit, small defiance. The chamber was a ring without a ceiling, or a floor, really. Reality curved inward like the inside of a thought. Thousands of entities occupied positions along the circumference, some embodied, some conceptual, some merely implied by distortions in space-time. This was the Eternal Conclave, a council so old that several galaxies had risen, burned, and cooled into background radiation during its uninterrupted sessions. At the apex hovered High Arbiter Cathal, a mass of layered probability fields wrapped around a singularity of authority. Its presence pressed against Jack's nervous system like a warning siren only evolution could hear. To Jack's left shimmered Ambassador Scythe of the Radiant Collective, all refracted light and weaponized serenity. Scythe's species believed violence was crude, but psychic dominance? That was art. Jack exhaled slowly. He had trained for this. Years of diplomacy, cross-species protocol, meditation, breath control, linguistic compression. He had memorized the Conclave's 4,000-page etiquette charter. None of it mattered. Cathal spoke without sound. The words arrived fully formed in Jack's mind, carrying weight, context, and dismissal all at once. Humanity's petition is denied. There was no preamble, no discussion, no pretense. Your species may not expand beyond Sol. You are deemed unstable, short-lived, and evolutionarily irrelevant. Jack felt the eyes, if they could be called that, turn toward him. Vermin, Sith added, the words sliding in with elegant cruelty. Clever vermin, but still vermin. Jack swallowed. Understood, he said aloud, voice steady. May I ask on what basis? On precedent, Cathal interrupted. On pattern, on inevitability. Jack nodded slowly. He had expected this. Humanity always did this part last, accepting reality before deciding what to do with it. Then Scythe smiled. It wasn't a facial expression. It was a shift in the ambient light, a tightening, a focusing. Jack felt it before he understood it. The psychic probe slid toward him like silk-wrapped razors. No brute force, no warning, just an invasive certainty that his mind was about to be opened, catalogued, and dismissed. Jack's training kicked in. Breathe, observe, do not resist. The probe touched him, and something answered. Not a defense, a presence. The chamber screamed, not audibly, existentially. Sith recoiled, light fracturing into erratic angles. The radiant collective ambassador staggered, psychic form flickering like a dying star. What? Sith transmitted, panic bleeding through centuries of composure. Jack gasped. Because he felt it too. Something inside him had shifted, not awakened, remembered. The Trion Collective reacted instantly. A hive mind older than individuality surged forward, billions of consciousnesses folding into a single crushing psychic mass. Where Scythe had been a scalpel, the Trion were a tidal wave. They didn't probe, they invaded. Jack dropped to one knee, his vision split. Time stuttered. He felt memories that weren't his, worlds with triple suns, wars fought with math, extinctions executed as mercy. Then the thing inside him moved. The aspect didn't push back. It expanded. The Trion presence hit it and simply ceased, not destroyed, overwritten. The hive mind screamed as one and recoiled, fragments of its collective identity unraveling like burned paper. The conclave chamber went silent. Jack stood slowly. His hands were shaking. I didn't, he began. The words stopped as gravity surged. Three beings of living mass unfolded near the chamber's core, ancient executioners, condensed gravitational intelligences designed to erase stars as warnings. They collapsed space toward Jack. A singularity bloomed. Jack raised one hand, and gravity stopped, not resisted, paused. The beings of living gravity strained, impossible equations breaking apart under a will that did not negotiate with physics. Jack's eyes burned, not with light, but with depth. I remember now, he said quietly. The aspect surfaced fully, Reality dimmed around him, as if embarrassed. Jack's human outline flickered. For a moment, something vast and terrible pressed against the limits of his skin. Wings made of collapsed timelines, a spine forged in cosmic aftermath. "I am human," Jack said, "but humans are not young." Cthal's authority field wavered. Jack looked at the assembly, not with anger, but with exhaustion. "We were here before you," he said, "before the Conclave, before your empires learned how to count stars." Memory poured out of him, not as words, but as truth. A war against a hungry dark that devoured causality itself. A victory that required becoming something ruthless, efficient, monstrous. "And we won," Jack continued. "But victory changed us, so we chose to forget, to become small, to live briefly, to love things that die." The gravitational beings tried to reform. Jack closed his hand. They unraveled into harmless waves of space-time, undone without effort. The aspect surged higher. Jack gritted his teeth. Across the galaxy, humans stirred. Miners on Europa paused mid-task. Pilots felt a pressure behind their eyes. Children dreamed of impossible skies. Old soldiers woke with tears and no memory of why. The forgetting was breaking. Jack's voice cracked. "You're waking them," he said to the assembly. "Every attack, every insult. You're ringing the bell we buried." His form flickered violently now. The aspect pressed outward, impatient. Jack turned to Cthal. "Give me a reason," he pleaded. "Tell me the universe we saved was worth saving." Silence. Then hesitation. It was small, but it was there. Jack laughed softly. Human laughter. Broken. Warm. "Fine," he said. "I'll choose for you." He forced the aspect down. It fought him. He bled. Actual blood. Bright red. Painfully human. "Humans," Jack said through clenched teeth, "are not defined by what we can destroy." Across the stars, humans felt it too, and they chose. Collectively, instinctively, deliberately, they forgot. The aspect receded, pulled back by billions of quiet decisions to remain small, fragile, meaningful. Jack collapsed. The aspect spoke once more through him, voice layered with eternity. "Let them sleep, let them dream, let them love, and pray they never wake." A wave rolled outward. Memories erased, records blurred. The conclave forgot, not the decision, but the reason. Jack smiled one last time. "Meaning," he whispered, "over power." Then he was gone. On Earth, a grandmother sat on a porch at dusk, watching her grandson chase fireflies. She felt something warm pass through her, like an old lullaby remembered without words. She smiled. "Someday," she murmured, "you'll reach the stars." The fireflies blinked. "And when you do," she added softly, "don't forget why you went." End.